Welcome back to the Team 7 podcast. We've got somebody talking over me. Let me remind you, this is the Team 7 podcast. That was just a reminder. Anyways, this week we're with episodes 113 through 120. I hope that in the edit, Asher is showing Zach's camera because he is actually dying. But yeah, episodes 113 through 120, we ended the Hidan and Kakuzu arc and got a little preview into filler arc that we won't be watching because we're about to have a big gap between this segment and the next. So let's just get into it.
Now, hold on a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that's a filler arc because I kind of felt the vibe that it was, but I hope that it wasn't because Hinata finally said more words than she has said up to this point since episode 1 of OG Naruto. And I got really excited.
Yeah, understandably so. Her voice actor got paid for more than a sentence. Naruto? And they only had to get her to record it once. Yeah, it's a filler arc. We're going to skip it. I mean, you can watch it. I've not actually seen this arc. Maybe Lance, who is joining us today, maybe he has seen it, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I probably did at some point, but I don't really remember anything of note about it. So
I'm trying to look up what it's about, but this website won't let me pass their ad blocker thing. Oh well, bunch of banter right now. But yeah, so we're at the end of Hidan and Kakuzu. Shikamaru, the mastermind. Were you guys impressed?
Impressed.
Yeah?
Every bit of Shikamaru's interaction with the team, the adversary, his own inner dialogue. He's just. We need to get down to like a who's our favorites again because he's definitely on the list now.
Oh, he's my favorite.
It's hard to go
number one, but he is for sure like a major piece of the Leaf Village, especially when we see the interaction with Tsunade where she's kind of given the flashback of, well, she initiates the flashback of him being offered a role in the, what is it, the guardianship shinobi?
Yeah, it's like the royal guard or something like that. He would be like the lead guard of some like nobleman kind of thing.
Yeah, and his answer is so pure of why he's staying and so noble in and of itself. And dude, just so many. This arc is honestly so good. It's so good.
I think it's number one for me.
Yeah, it's made it to the top.
I think it's the best one I've seen so far.
I think the reason it's so good is because of, honestly, the pacing of the battle for me. Like it didn't feel like we were getting a ton of explanation for like things that we could probably just grasp as it goes, you know? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there was still a decent amount of like understanding. But as the action was happening, it just felt faster. I was a big fan of that. But Shikamaru, man.
He's the GOAT. He's definitely number one. That was the first note I put, or after watching all the episodes and going back and like kind of recapping for myself. It's just Shikamaru's number one. He's so cool. He's so good.
So smart.
And I think part of that pacing too, Zach, it felt kind of like a heist. Not that they were like stealing anything, but in like a heist movie or TV show where it's like the thing happens, we get to be a part of it. There wasn't a whole lot of that explanation like you were saying, but then at the end of it, they go back and they're like, here's how it all went. Like from 2 weeks before they were even on the mission or whatever.
That makes sense though. It's just they didn't get the treasure they were seeking because they were looking for Asuma and his bounty. They were trying to steal him. So I definitely picked up on that too in a way. But I just love how fast we were like curious about a lot of things and then how fast we were given context and answers to it. Like we're not waiting 30 episodes to find out what the king is. Right? Like we heard it.
I'm kind of glad about that.
I know. But in past it's taken a while for that to like develop and like unfold and we finally get an answer. So yeah, I was a big fan of
What did you
this
think about
arc.
the answer to the king, or of what is the king?
In context of who you are, I think it's kind of funny.
Me?
But yeah,
Oh,
because we're talking about the children here and how the future is. We got to protect them.
I'm all about supporting the children that have already been born. I'm
Sure.
saying like maybe like cool it and don't have so many more. I won't
Exactly.
put that in there.
Exactly.
People really are going to
Um,
be like, this guy doesn't like Aaron Yeager.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so what was your guess though, Asher? I can't remember. I know that Zach's was Naruto.
Yeah. No, my guess was like whoever is the most important in that moment, because it seemed like he overlooked something with Asuma where he could have saved him.
It definitely was like
situational.
You weren't far off though.
Sure.
So yeah, Hedon there until today. He's just for forever in that hole. What I want to know is what are those beams? I mean, they're in the middle of a forest, and there's these like beams like 3 feet down in the ground that are broken. What's going on? They running piping through the forest?
Some lost city of Atlantis.
Must be.
I like to believe that Shikamaru enlisted the help of the deer in the forest to lay some like rebar, just that's the kind of filler that I would watch. So
Yeah, my only like thought of like justification really was, I don't know, like maybe it had been hollowed out and then there was like structural support like added, so that whenever he put Hedon in that spot, it would like have a pit to fall to after the explosion. That's the only way, and there's no evidence of that. It's just there, and I'm like, why? And I was like, that would be the one way I could explain it away. And it still even is, loose.
Well,
Loose.
Shikamaru even says that he had planned that trap, before they had even set out on the mission. So, I mean, it's one of those things like you just have to be like, yeah, okay, you set that trap. What an unbelievable trap.
Yeah.
Unbelievable trap. Do we think, I guess I'm mostly asking Zach because you all would know, do we think that Shikamaru is already plotting how he's going to propose to Tamari or what?
I don't know why you would bring that up.
Like, is that gonna happen later? And then it's like, oh, flashback to OG Naruto. He like already knew.
We haven't even seen Tamari since like episode like 5.
But he's been thinking about her.
We don't know that. I'm not sure why you're so convinced that they're going to be together.
Because she was about to leave the village and he didn't have to go and escort her, but he did.
That's some middle school evidence.
Hey, that's me, boy.
You're very Tom Hatherford tonight.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the next arc, I finally got into this website. It's about the Three Tails, mainly. And as far as arcs go, from what this is saying, it's like not a bad filler arc, just because you spend time with one of the Jinchuriki. Up to you guys if you want to watch it. I do not have it in the batch, so it'd really just kind of be like up to you guys, but we can come back to that later.
Hey, speaking of Jinchuriki, in episode 83, they mentioned that there's only 4 more tailed beasts to go, and I don't remember who said that, but is that true at this point?
Yeah, it is, and I don't know how.
Crap.
It doesn't make sense to me either. Maybe Lance can explain this a bit more, but
it's not like a big thing. It's just the assumption is that they've gathered some offspring.
Yeah,
like it's not like you didn't miss anything or whatever. Like it's just like, oh, okay.
It was just like
they've gotten more.
You know who is gonna know?
Oh, Jet Kirby.
Jet
That's
Kirby,
that Lua Master.
the man, the myth, the legend.
This dude's on another thing.
Speaking of, he did clear up that Konohamaru's parents were Anbu. Was that right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they were like the arms of the Hokage. Pretty
So
important.
it makes sense that they died because
Yeah,
they all die.
They also would have been the closest to any reasonable danger, So
right.
fair enough.
Danger, danger.
Danger, danger, danger.
I just have a small little rabbit trail to follow. In the first 5 minutes of this batch, I just have a question. This stuck with me, and I just have to bring it out. And it's literally nonsensical, and it's not anything to do with the majority of this arc. But I am so curious why they cuss in this show. It is definitely not geared towards younger children. But then we have scenes where it's like Dora the Explorer type writing. Like
That's a,
Shikamaru is explaining what they're going to do. And he said, well, the first thing we have to do is to find their to find the trail. And he's like, what? Choji's like, what? Oh, right. You mean like we need to go back to the fire temple and follow them all the way to the collection office or the collection, whatever it's called? And it's like, yeah, duh. That's what following the trail means, idiot. Like,
I couldn't agree with
I've
you more.
never thought about that like that way until just now. But it reminds me of the John Mulaney bit where he's talking about Law and Order and about how Ice-T does that same thing. Where he's like, "Oh, you mean like how?" And then he like re-explains the thing that was just explained with some like loose analogy. That is like 100% the same thing that Choji is doing. That's
yeah,
the greatest
I was
parallel.
expecting them to cut to like them doing it and be like, "Can you spot the red flag on the tree?" Like, what are we doing?
That is
Anyways,
a complaint of mine as well. It always is. The hand holding will come out of nowhere, and they'll like just walk you through stuff painstakingly. And 83 is awful for that. And it gets a little bit better through the arc as you like understand more of it. And maybe that's why you're earlier you were saying that you like the pacing of the fight, because as you go on, you need like less hand holding because you aren't being told that they're doing stuff or they're not trying to fill time with,
Or you're
that.
not like learning like what chakra is.
Right.
Like there's
Right.
you have like a lot more base level information at this point in the world than you did early on. So the pacing of things can be a lot quicker because of that. I wonder too though if like some of that dumbing down is like just on purpose in order to like hyper focus like how smart the smart people are, like to make Shikamaru seem like some like a like a Mensa certified genius compared to these like 16-year-old dumb idiots.
yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm guessing, but I'm wondering if maybe that's just like a storytelling thing that doesn't maybe it doesn't translate quite as well like over to the English side of it. Maybe that's part of it too. I don't know.
And that makes sense. And talk about useless. Ino and Choji are just there.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because I love all of the extra characters, but more and more, and like people have said this in comments, like, hey, as it goes on, just not going to get a lot of screen time with a lot of these people that you think you like right now.
I think I can say this without it being any kind of spoiler. I don't feel like Ino and Choji were very like utilized, like from like a writing perspective. Like I feel like they probably could have been more helpful generally, but it's just that's the way things unfolded. They just kept getting throat punched.
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, and like the emphasis that the Chunin exams put on Shikacho is like that wasn't even entertained as an option here. And I get it. I feel like it was not entertained as an option, one, to highlight Shikamaru, but also to highlight like how tough the Akatsuki are, that like something like that won't work. But it was presented initially as this very formidable, like very few like once perfected, like very few downsides of like a formation. But we just didn't hear about it again. And you'd think you'd see it here.
I think it further speaks to like the Shikamaru being a genius thing though, because even when he's telling them about like what they're about to do, he says that the plan is based on a series of different scenarios. So like he's already imagined like if this happens then we'll do this, and if this happens then we'll do this. I think he just probably knows that like it can't just be the three of them like doing the classic Shikacho thing. I just think he knows it's not going to work. So instead, he was planning something else, or that's what I'm choosing to believe.
Yeah.
Plus he has Kakashi there too, and he even says that when Kakashi shows up, he's like, "I had to change the plan now that you're here." So whatever. But clearly, things would have gone poorly had Kakashi not been involved.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what his plan would have been if it was just the three. I think he would have had to utilize them more. And obviously, he wouldn't want to sacrifice them. But, I mean, one of them may have lost their lives along the way to get both of them.
I think the plan would have been more on how to get a last message to their loved ones than surviving an attack. Because they're definitely dead.
Nah, bro. They're gonna go down swinging. They don't ain't even worry about it.
You think if Kakashi wasn't there, they survive?
No. I'm just saying that they're not gonna like pause. We need to try and send a message home. They're just gonna die. Like I don't think it would even be.
No, I know that.
Okay.
It would all the writing would be all about trying to win, but at the end, Shikamaru made arrangements that hey, we sacrificed ourselves for this.
Right.
Make sure you tell Tamari that I love her.
I was a big fan. So.
I love it.
Well, going on with that, with Kakashi, first of all, love the look in this fight from him. Just different. It just looks cool that he doesn't have the headband on, like that his hair is down, and then no jacket. Of course, it's one big turtleneck that comes up and covers his face. But actually, I really wish that they would have revealed his face in Gotta See, Gotta Know, because it's just a tease, man. It's just a tease. But yeah, so he's fighting Kakuzu, and I hate Kakuzu. Like I can tolerate Hedon because it's just like a interesting character, and we've got Hedon's biggest fan here actually. But Kakuzu to me can't stand it. Can't stand the way his skin comes apart, and then just like hairs. Those are all hairs to me. I don't know what they actually are, but it looks like hair.
Stitching? I don't know. It's gross. Oh, you mean the stuff that comes out of
him? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful.
And like the stitching is what's also inside of him. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm assuming that it's hair.
That is gross. I never thought about it as hair, but
at least we don't have to see him anymore, unless they do more autopsy scenes or whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't know about either of them being totally dead.
Well, I mean, apparently, yeah. So, can you all clear this up? Like, Hedon's in pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's underground, but there is in some world, there's a way that he like comes back together. I mean, the deer are gonna like nibble on him so it doesn't happen or whatever, but he could potentially like his body could come back together.
I mean, it'd have to be like
can't tell you
together by something.
Yeah, it's just foreshadowing that he's like, I'm gonna crawl out with my teeth, and then I don't know. the immortal side of that and the fact that he said, this isn't the last you're going to see of me. It's just with Naruto as a show, I don't believe it. And the same way with Kakuzu, we only saw 3 of the 4 masks actually get destroyed. One of them just cracks, but it never shatters.
I
So
don't like
know.
that we're all saying these things right now. I don't like it. I don't like teeth. I don't like the hair. That's nasty.
And you don't like the idea of Kakuzu still being alive.
Right.
About all the same.
It definitely feels like he's dead, but he also felt dead the first time. And then
yeah, what was your rate? Did y'all think they as soon as Kakashi put one through his heart, you guys were like, "Oh my god, done."
0% chance he's done.
You were like immediately.
No way.
No way.
Yeah, it was more immediately that way, right?
I didn't quite put it together that it was the masks that were the extra hearts that he was referring to, but
they actually weren't.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I want to try to beat Lore Master to this explanation, you son of a gun. So the hearts are inside his body, but he was able to move them around at will. So the mask was just a physical like manifestation of the chakra nature that heart was associated with. So the heart that he had stolen that had the fire chakra nature was represented by that red mask. Once that heart was pierced by Kakashi, which was the first one, the mask is more so a representation of the chakra manifestation, but there is a physical heart that he did have inside his body, all 5 of them. So Kakashi did stab a heart. It just happened to be the one that was that particular chakra nature. So I'm just going to be confident in that explanation and wait and see if Lore Master checks me on it and proves me wrong. But I'm pretty sure that that's neither here nor there. It's not necessarily important information, but to my understanding, that's how the actual ability like worked, if that makes sense.
And to be clear, like he is dead. They killed him. They got all like they explained this
they did all the
89. But like Naruto's hand like had severed, or the chakra the chakra network has been severed at like the cellular level. So, and that was just his hand that he was using on the jutsu, but that went through every single ounce of Kakuzu. So all of that was killed, shattered. Like he is gone, no chance coming back. Like the chakra network has been cut off at every single cell. So there's no chance.
Speaking of which, are we going to get a further explanation of what Tsunade was saying about why he can't use the Rasen Shuriken? Because I'm a little confused. And if we don't get an explanation, can we use this time to...
Well, I think they did explain it in, I think, at 89.
She did, but I'm like confused is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of what I was saying. Like, because that jutsu is so powerful and so great, it shreds, it turns into like microscopic cellular level that they said in the sub, I think, of like basically what is it, Lance? Like air particles?
Think like wind that is so compressed that it's like a tiny piercing little needle.
Yeah.
That's like
going
that's
everywhere.
That's like on an atomic size, not like a, like it's so small you couldn't see it, but they said that it was ripping apart and just slashing through the chakra network on a cellular level, which means if you were to do that, throughout a person's entire body in the Naruto universe, then they would die. Chakra can't flow through their body anymore, so there's nothing sustaining them. So the jutsu that Naruto is using to do that, that's what's happening to the enemy, but the blowback from it and being so close to it, it's causing the same damage to Naruto. So if he continues to use it, eventually that damage would become permanent, and Tsunade clarifies too, to become permanent enough that she can't fix it and no one could. So that's the reason she says he can't use the jutsu anymore, is because it will at best prevent him from ever using chakra for any meaningful reason as a ninja again, or at worst, it would kill him ultimately. So, out of concern for his literal, safety and well-being, that's why she says he can't use it.
Gotcha.
That does make more sense now. So that it's just in a part of his arm though at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
but it's being healed.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that healable for now? Yeah. But then if he does it again, it could be like worse or.
Yeah. And the assumption I think is that it's not like if he uses it one more time, that's what's going to happen. If he continues to use it several times, so using it once really isn't even worth it by that logic, I think is what she's saying. But yes, the damage that's been done at the moment is going to be mended. Like he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So he's got to find a way to like shoot it at somebody and like lock it onto him rather than like be up close and personal.
Well, even just spinning there, like once he's like holding it and has changed the chakra nature to wind and it's spinning, that's when it will start to shred. So,
dang.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's just going to have to put on a big glove or something.
Here's hoping that he uses it on Sasuke one time and then he can never use chakra again, but we don't have to deal with Sasuke anymore. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sasuke, we got a little bit of him for first time in a while.
Looking pretty sinister.
Boo.
Cutting off heads of logs.
Pretty sinister.
I love a good no dialogue training montage with no context. Awesome.
But we get a new face that he talks to later though.
Who's that?
What's her name?
Yukimaru?
Yukimaru. Ochimaru's daughter.
Yukimaru is the woman that was speaking to Kabuto whenever like Orochimaru was like, we need to get that woman, right?
I thought that was Guren.
Guren.
Yukimaru is the girl that talked to Sasuke as he was like standing by the waterfall. And then Kabuto comes up to her and is like, something, you gotta go.
Well, I'll clearly have committed her to my long-term memory.
Seemed pretty creepy to me. The girl just like walking up to him, I was like, what
but like more
here?
or less creepy than Orochimaru in disguise at the beginning of the second stage of the Chunin exams, whenever he hands back Kurenai, her kunai with his tongue.
Way less creepy. Way less creepy than that. That's still the creepiest thing that's ever happened in the show.
I didn't get Yukimaru as creepy at all.
Really?
She just seemed like she was trying to be Sasuke's friend. Or more than.
Whoa.
Either way, we don't know who she is yet.
Mm.
I was just going to say with Naruto's re-entrance into, like, when he comes in as reinforcements for this battle, the writers of the show are just so good. They definitely wrote Naruto. I made the note, I was like, Naruto is different after training. And then later, when he made a comment, Sakura's like, I really thought Naruto would be different. Or maybe it was Ino. I don't remember who said it. But they're like, no, but it's same old Naruto.
That was Ino.
It was and Kakashi says it too when he calls him the unpredictable ninja.
Yeah.
It's like right after he fails using the Rasen Shuriken the first time. He's like, classic Naruto.
Yeah, he's full of surprises.
And even though I knew that was probably going to happen, like it was probably going to fail the first time, I was still like, ugh, awful. Like what happens now?
But I don't know, that entrance is so cool. And then they do, I think, very well established it, like, to say that Naruto is equal or greater than Kakashi is such a huge statement.
Yeah.
Because of how, like, I mean, I'm sure you guys feel this way too, because we've spent just as much time with Kakashi as we have Naruto, basically. Like, you trust Kakashi because you're like, he's too strong. I trust him to find a way out of this. So Naruto, like Zach said, is very different after training. And he's finished growing up almost. And he's still like got kid aspects to him, like whenever he meets up with Konohamaru in like 89, I think it is, and they do this sexy jutsu like contest again. Like that's like Naruto, that's just Naruto. But like very different. Like think about like Naruto leaving for the Land of the Waves in the very first arc. Like very first episode that we recorded.
He was
That
a baby.
Naruto like wanting to like jump at everything and like prove how like strong he is versus like the Naruto that we see that comes in and like puts a stop to this huge attack and then ultimately ends up, I mean, and just like Naruto has a little like hiccup in there, but ends up defeating this Akatsuki member. That's a huge development of a character. And obviously it's named Naruto for a reason, but like it's just nice to see. It's got to be a great payoff.
Yeah. It really is. I was about to use the word payoff too, because from what you're saying with that first like mission that they went out on to now is like, I mean, it's like Kiba and what's Kiba's dog's name?
Akamaru.
Like Kiba's with him every day, so it doesn't seem like he's gotten bigger. Like we've been with Naruto this whole time, so in my mind it's like he hasn't matured at all. He's still just such a kid. He's still doing sexy jutsu. But you're right. I mean, looking back that far, it's like this is a completely different person.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now we can come back to our list. We made a list.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. You beat me to
it. We made a list a few weeks ago of all the people that have defeated an Akatsuki member. First on that list was Sakura.
Up to this point, you have to say it, or you're going to get killed again.
I don't care.
Point. There's
no point. They don't even know that that you and I have seen it all, Lance. They're under the impression we've never seen the show and we're talking about it.
So problem solved now. We've clarified, okay?
So we have Sakura. Need I go on? But with Sakura, you can just add in Granny Chio. Because there was a tandem. So those two. Now we have Shikamaru, and then we have Naruto. That's a new list. 4.
Hell yeah.
So far. Not total, so far.
I'm saying in total. I've seen it all.
In total, up to episode 9.
Forever. The show ends tomorrow.
But yeah, so nice to add, more to that list and also shrink down the number of Akatsuki members because we've got, let's see, we've lost, what's his name? Sasori, Hidan, Kakuzu. Now we've got...
So that's 5 left?
6, because there was 10 with Orochimaru.
And
yes. Toby.
But he doesn't really... Oh, well, that's right. I guess it might be 7 then.
Because they did say in the last batch, like, Toby is a part of it now.
Yeah, so I think it's 7. Because if it would be 10, Orochimaru leaves, that's 9. They add Toby back. Or did they add Toby to replace Sasori? I think is that what happened, Lance? Okay, so then it is 6. Because they added Toby after Sasori, not after Orochimaru.
Right. So here's my prediction for the Akatsuki. I think if these two are dead, and they're not gonna take any time to go and try and like revive them in any way, I think the whole mission of the Akatsuki, now that I'm thinking about it, is a little scary because they can just find 2 more people who are like absolutely batshit crazy and will get on board with this get money and world domination thing. So I'm kind of wondering if they just, I mean, there's Toby, obviously. They're going to find 2 more Tobys, or hopefully they'll just clone Toby and we'll have like a whole fun interaction with 3 of him.
I just counted up who's left, and by my count, it actually is 7. Counting Toby and not counting Orochimaru, there are 7 members left
so far.
I'll text you the link, Logan. You can check me, but I'm pretty sure this is it.
Get money.
World
and some of the ones that are left, you know, obviously we've seen, but some of them we haven't.
No, you're right, Lance. That's right.
Okay. So
So
I'm
it is
excited
so.
for you. I'm excited for you guys to get to see who's left. It really is a pretty fun thing from here to the end. It's just all good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The next arc, obviously not the filler arc, but the next arc is more payoff.
More payoff for the Akatsuki because they're trying to get money.
Just payoff. Just we've put in a lot of time with the show, and the show is giving back right now.
Yeah.
The show is
I
saying,
love that.
I love
hey,
that too.
you remember why you watch this show? Stuff like this. Like stuff like and I'm so happy to hear you guys say that this is one of your favorite arcs, because this arc stands out to Lance and I as well, because there is so much payoff in this arc that, like, you get revenge for Asuma like immediately, and you get this awesome showing of intelligence and like how other characters that we've not spent as much time with have really developed. And I think that you're more in sync with the cast at this point. So like Yamato feels trusted, and like Sai feels trusted, and like Sakura's there. And then you've got Naruto, and I'm not trying to throw shade at her, but like we've not had any development on Sakura since Sasori. Not one bit besides the food pills.
Why
So
yada? Except the food pills. Let's
exactly.
not count that.
So that's what I'm saying, though. So because of that, she is just kind of there right now, but you still trust her. You're happy that she's there. Kakashi as well. And then like Team 10 is a team that we've spent time with in OG, but never in Shippuden, because the only other team we've barely spent any time with was Team, what is that, 8, Lance? Guys team? I think it's 8. Or no, Team 8 is Hinata's team.
Hinata.
Yeah, Team 8 I think is Hinata's team.
So I
think
guess it's Team 9.
10.
No, Team 10 is
Choji, Ino, and Shika.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So it is Team 9. But yeah, guys team, that we saw them for a little bit at the beginning of Shippuden, where they fought their clones for forever. And
Years.
then they said, "Oh yeah, we just got to be better. That's it. Be better." And now we win.
All right.
Hey, speaking of Sakura and the food pills, my third note watching through any of this, it was in episode 83, was in all caps, he ate poo pills. Like even Sakura was like, yo, Naruto, hold on. She was like, just wait a minute here. And
I love
just
that.
Like tanked him.
Yeah, but they worked. So she was right. She was going for like the efficacy of the food pills over the taste.
Going back to the payoff though, I will say I'm super excited to see Jiraiya so anxious and eager to teach Naruto some, like, now that he's got some of this like foundational thing, some, what am I trying to say? Foundational like skills for like chakra natures and everything that he's been training up for until this point. I feel like Jiraiya is about to like give him some knowledge. And now that he's able to train faster, some quick hits. Let's get some new moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've like unlocked a very like repeatable, tangible way that Naruto can expedite training.
Right.
That's true.
Great.
I will say the thing I want to see more of, if you're talking payoff, this might be like a long shot and this might not be a part of the show at all, but I want to see more frogs. Like I want to see more, or toads, I guess they are. I want to see.
Well, the wrong person has been, or the wrong people have been in the show, because there's only one person with frogs. So we'll just have to wait for Jiraiya. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Jiraiya back in the picture,
Oh, I
I'm
see. Okay,
I want to see more toads.
I got you. I thought
Boompa.
you were disappointed with the number of toads, even with Jiraiya's absence.
Well, no, it just with Pakun coming into the picture again, and then
Yeah.
Jiraiya at the end. I was like, wait, I forgot all about these toads. Like, I want to see more.
Oh yeah, the toads.
What about the snail that breaks apart into a million snails with
Slug.
the butt mouth?
Her name is Katsuyu. Okay,
God bless you as well.
thank you.
And also with you.
Well, this is the end of a season, and this is on Crunchyroll. This is season 4, and we skipped a season, basically all but 2 episodes. So 3 seasons in, we've not done this in a minute, but highlights from this season, like in this whole season is just one arc. But is there anything outside of this batch that you're like, I want to give this an honorable mention now that I've watched it all?
I mean, I'm
Does
gonna
that
have
make
to.
sense?
I'm gonna have to defend my position on Hidan at some point. So
That's a good point.
Now it's as good a time as any.
Yeah, go ahead.
You absolute twisted MFer.
well, here's the thing. I definitely don't find him nearly as annoying as you guys do. I do think that part of the reason I remember his character so fondly is because of just how unbelievably decimated he got by Shikamaru, if that makes sense. Like I love that so much that it's like, sorry, I keep moving my camera. Every time I like think about that character, I think about how Shikamaru is just the greatest. So there's part of that, but I just feel like in a universe that keeps getting so like big and like the jutsu and the abilities are like so all over the place. I just feel like Hidan's is super unique. Because it really doesn't have anything to do with like chakra. So he's not like a classic like ninjutsu using ninja like most of
I
these other
never
people
thought of
are.
that.
And he's still like so formidable enough that he can be a part of this group of elite, bad people. I think the weapon that he carries is dope. There's not a ton of like physical weapons in Naruto that aren't the like small like shuriken and are all over the place. But I think like the weapons that you do see throughout the show, I think they're all like really cool and unique. So every time I see one, I think that's fun. But his like bizarre like religious affiliation, I just I don't know, I just think he's fascinating because he's so remarkably different from everyone else that he's around, I think. And that I think that's fun for me. I love that he's so like boisterous and loud and cocky and like won't shut up, and finally like somebody literally tore him to pieces and put him in a grave. Like I don't know. I think speaking of payoff, to me, like that's like the best thing you could hope for, especially the fact that Shikamaru got revenge on the person that killed Asuma, like just the whole thing. So I don't know. I feel like he's a unique enough character that he stands out to me as like one of the more interesting like people that you come across and know, just because he was so different in the way that he did like his not jutsu or whatever, but like the whole thing was just so insane. I don't know how else to describe it. So I like Hidan so much more than Kakuzu on every facet. I think he's more interesting. I think he was more. If I had to be picky, I wish that fight with him and Shikamaru would have lasted for a little bit longer, like in the forest. Like I wish there would have been a little bit more conflict, but I did love the payoff of, you guys mentioned this earlier, but like you knew that they had a plan, but you didn't know what the plan was. So you're having to like watch it unfold in real time. I think that's one of the really fun pieces of the arc.
And not knowing if it's going to plan.
Exactly. That's a better way to put it. You don't really know, because they do seem like kind of disorganized, like early on when they're all still together fighting both of them. Like you're kind of just like, are they going to do anything at all? Like, are they just going to keep like almost dying and then not dying? Like, what are we doing here? But
the more I think about it, the crazier it gets, because Shikamaru had that vial of Kakuzu's blood, which was only achieved after something seemingly went wrong. And I guess this is where every scenario has been thought through by Shikamaru. But Kakashi hits Kakuzu from the back with that Chidori, and that's whenever he was able to get the vial of blood. So you would have, at that point, and I wonder if Asher and Zach felt this way. Did you feel like, oh my God? I mean, you guys knew he wasn't dead, but were you ever like in doubt of the plan? Was that even on the front of your mind that like, hey, Shikamaru's got a plan that's going to work, or what?
Yeah, we definitely got word of the plan at the beginning.
Right.
They talked about there was a plan, but at the Chidori moment, I thought the plan had went awry and they were improvising now. And so when we fast forward all the way to Hidan and Shikamaru in the woods, I thought this was all improvised, and I was totally caught off guard.
I do just want to mention, it did feel a little unbelievable and lucky that he was able to get the blood from the vial onto the thing. And
Completely agree.
It's fine because F Hidan, and like, I don't care. But that was the one part that I was like, that was luck. That was so lucky.
From such a small vial, just snipes it as like he's coming to swing across. Like, the odds are just so low.
But it's Shikamaru, and I feel like that's just like him now.
You're definitely right about that. I think the only reason it doesn't bother me is because it wasn't an impulsive decision made in the moment. It was premeditated, and he knew that he was going to have to do that at some point. So it wasn't like a split second, like, oh my God,
reaction.
It wasn't reactionary. It was he was actually trying to initiate that exact contact. So in that sense, it doesn't bug me as like a plot convenience thing. It was actually that's what he was trying to do, was to make it seem like he hit him.
So we had an episode break actually at that reveal where it looked like he got hit or scratched on the face, just like Asuma. Wait, was Asuma on the arm?
I don't remember.
I think it was the face. It doesn't matter. But did you guys buy it? Did you guys see that and think like, oh, he actually got scratched? He's going to find a way out of it, but he actually did get scratched. Or did you think this is fake from the beginning?
I'm trying to think back, and I felt like he might have gotten him, or maybe he missed, but I definitely didn't think that he got somebody else's blood on there until a little bit later. And I was like, okay, that must have been what happened, but I have no idea how.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, because it is obviously, in reality, now watching it in 2023, you just hit play on the next. So like, you're not sitting on this information for a week like the show was intended. And I think that's why it's very obvious at this point. We get so many repeated frames and repeated explanations because, it's a week-to-week show, and that's how the show writers were constructing the show. And I think you actually see that a lot less now, because I think that it's so well known in the like anime industry that people are, even if they're watching week to week, that like they still have access to those old shows or the old episodes, the way that you just didn't. Like, you just, Lance, do you remember like having to find like those like super sketchy websites to watch Naruto from in college?
Oh, for sure.
That was wild. I couldn't imagine doing that now.
No, I wish I could remember what that website was called, because it was really well done. But yeah, I remember going to some random website to stream the like subtitled episodes.
Yeah.
For a long time. That was like
the
only way you could watch it. I
don't even think that. I mean, really, because that'd have been like 2012. So like, really, that I don't even know if it was available anywhere.
I know really early on I was watching some of the subtitled episodes of OG Naruto on YouTube, but like, you know, like that was like that was like 2008, maybe
Right.
7 or 8. And so, but yeah, obviously that didn't last for very long once copyright stuff, got going with YouTube. But yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Crazy. What a time. You had to really seek out anime. Now you can find it on any subscription service that you have.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Well, we also saw one of the greatest intros at the beginning of this season. It really was covered at the end of the last arc that we watched, and then it went all the way through a filler arc that we skipped. And it, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best. Lance, do you know which one I'm talking about? It's got a bird in it, like the silhouette of a bird.
I don't
But
I don't off the top of my head, but
I know as soon as I played the first bit of the song, you would know it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I'll take your word for it, though. I believe you.
It was a good one. I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned it because I like it, and we haven't mentioned those in a while. So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about from this batch, or do we want to go ahead and set up what our plan is for the future? I mean, it sounds like it's a bigger thing than it is. I just wanted to give it the next batch.
I'm good to move forward.
I just wanted to mention that with Lance's love for Hidan, the one thing that gets me is when he was talking crap about directly to Datara when they were extracting the two-tail was just so good. I was like, there's a slight redeeming quality here. Yeah. I kind of wish we had more of him, just like, I don't know, being the disruptor of the Akatsuki within that group.
He's so blatantly arrogant. I think, but it just like it's almost like odd because like you're like a normal person wouldn't act or speak this way, like this person is truly unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged is a great word for it. And well, within some religious tradition, it would make more sense if he was like pursuing what am I thinking? I don't know, maybe a quieter persona and I don't know. Instead of just like, hey, I'm this religious guy gonna kill everybody.
Yeah. I think I choose to believe that he made up that religion just to have an excuse to be an insane, murdering psychopath.
Sure.
The only thing that made me laugh about Hidan is literally towards the end when Kakuzu does something wrong and Hidan's like, "Are you serious? That's all you got?" or something like that. And in the dub, Kakuzu's like, "You fool." Like, what does he say? He goes, "At least I didn't get tricked by a shadow clone." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you saw that, huh?"
It's the same in the sub. I love that part. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you saw that?" It's great. Their banter, them as a team, and they really only mentioned this like just for a quick second in the early part of this arc, but they make so much sense as a team. Yeah. Not only like because Kakuzu knows he can't kill him and he wants to kill him, but like and we saw it, like their combo attack against Kakashi, 9 out of 10 ninja die from that because you just can't. I mean, if I would say if he didn't have the Sharingan activated, he probably would have because he's able to see everything in slow motion and react. But yeah, I mean, they're a great team, and I do like Hidan more than Kakuzu, but loathe them.
Yeah. I know I mentioned that I was ready to move on, but with you saying that, we glossed over one of the most touching parts of this batch when Naruto's training and he's kind of like down in the dumps because he's like not fully grasping the elemental changes and everything about that, and he's kind of confused. And Yamato's explaining it to him about wind and water and fire and all that stuff.
Earth and heart.
Yeah, and
Captain
he's
Planet.
talking about Shut up. He's talking about. I'm just kidding. He's talking about with Sasuke, how he would have been a perfect match, and Yamato's like, yeah, you would have, countered his lightning for sure. And he's like, no, I would have made his flames bigger. Like, it's not even about I want to defeat him. It's I could have been such a great helper to his jutsu.
Yeah, great partner.
And I was just like, gosh, like what a pure heart Naruto has.
Yeah.
I
Just
love him.
what a good dude.
Yeah.
So
It shows like where his where his true motivations are.
exactly.
It's great.
Hey, two last quick things. I'm just really excited to see whoever Guren is, because she seems unhinged. Little bit of power vibes from Chainsaw Man. But also we didn't talk about how Kurenai's pregnant, right?
We've already talked about this.
We did talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I think
I
you
don't
guys
think
talked
we
about
did.
it in the last episode or the one before that, one or the other.
Yeah. But she is pregnant.
It was news to me in this batch.
With Asuma's child, to be clear. Or is that a spoiler? I don't know.
I mean,
No, he
it
said
has to be.
Yeah, I was
about
going to say, like, that. I feel like that's like an established fact. Is there a
It
known
is.
thing is that she's pregnant with Asuma's child? Okay.
either I was out of the loop or I just wasn't listening, but this was the first time I had heard that in my own knowledge.
Well, go back and you can watch our video again and you can watch yourself learn it before now. And then you'll learn it
I
again.
really don't remember us talking about it. Like, I didn't know until this batch when she was talking to Shikamaru.
I hope that Lore Master has taken notes and can go back. Lore Master, if you don't mind, just find the spot that we talked about this previously and then ping them, Asher and Zach, and tell them that they have Alzheimer's now.
What?
And Jet Kirby, if
Yeah,
that
what?
is not true, please call Logan an idiot to the masses.
All right, so next batch is 113 through 120. So we're going to watch 8 episodes. Asher, do you plan on watching the filler arc?
I mean, probably. I'll probably watch 113 through 120 first, and then if I'm jonesing, then maybe.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's it looks entertaining.
I want to see Shino, honestly, more than anybody.
That would add, good lord, good luck, dude. That would add 4, 8, 12, 16, 22 episodes.
Perfect.
You would have to watch on top of the 8 that we're doing next week.
I just finished Severance, so it's doable.
Dude, such a good show. Wow. All right. Well, if there's nothing else from you guys, I think that would be about it for me.
Heart of the Cards?
Oh, the cards. Right into the mic.
That's a good sound. The sound you're making earlier when you were opening a bag of Salt and Vinnies straight into my ear was horrible.
Ooh, gonna open it up with Anko.
What up?
Yes. Yes.
You can have that card.
Thank you.
Ino.
What up?
Yeah.
Young Naruto.
Young Ben.
Oh my god. Lance, help. Name.
Ooh.
Gamatutsu?
Gamatsu?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, good
call.
and
then another Sasuke card. Man, we've been getting some like pretty lame, like just OG packs.
Chidori.
Do you guys want to open another?
Yes.
Do it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Dude, we did not talk about Kurenai being pregnant.
At all.
Like
Maybe.
Zero.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I really thought that it's something that you know before Asuma dies.
It is. They do all that setup.
Logan, we're not talking to you.
They do all that setup with Kurenai.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
All she does is water her plants. You
I
don't
get
see a
it.
pregnant belly.
Watering plants is a metaphor for, but like they never said it.
If they had, why would they say it as like the closing ceremony for Asuma's tribute?
Listen, I'm going to have a little heat on moment here and say, you know what? I am right.
Rock Lee.
The man.
Yeah.
And that's tuning Rock Lee, by the way. Naruto from
Nice.
Shippuden. Ibiki. Oh my god. Okay, after this pack, I gotta show you. I've completely forgot to tell you guys about something.
Wait,
Shino-
was that the guy who was the in the tuning exams, the written exam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interrogator. And then we have help name Shikamaru's dad.
Shikaku, but not the same as the one-tailed.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They're spelled differently. I think
Yeah.
the tail is Shukaku, like SHU. I'm pretty sure
And he's
Shikamaru's dad
Shikaku.
is SHI. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a scene after 83, I believe it was, only in the sub. They've completely edited it out of the end of the dub on Hulu. But basically, they take the store, like the collections office, that attendant, they capture him and take him back. They mention it. They're like, we're going to give him to Ibiki to get answers out of him. And then we never see him again. Well, there's a scene at the very end on Crunchyroll, at least, that
like
doesn't even...
credits?
Yeah, post, like, so there's credits, then there's like next week's episode, and then there's like a funny little bit. But this time there's even something after that, and it's just this scene. But there's no subtitles. It's not been subtitled. So I played it and let Google Translate do all of it. And so we can get kind of like a gist of what was being said. So set the scene for you. It is that guy from the collections office. He's sat down in an interrogation room. Ibiki walks in and he says something to this. I'll give the literal translation first. This is your first event, so let me tell you a little bit about yourself. And so I'm guessing that's kind of like, this is your first time here. I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. Then what's said next is he like pulls out a picture of Kakuzu, and he says, "This guy you were in contact with, tell me about this guy." And the guy, I took this translation twice or three times. The first time it said no partitions. This is what the collections office guy said. But then after that, it was said, "I don't make it." So I'm just assuming it was just some sort of denial of like, I don't do that, or I don't know what you're talking about, or something, some sort of denial.
Right.
He said, "Don't make me talk. I'll make you write it my way." That's what Ibiki says back to him. And I think I took that one again. No, okay. So then he says, "Then stop asking me to talk. I'll make you wear it my way." Okay, yeah. So I took that one twice. I don't know. It's really hard to understand like what, but I'm kind of assuming that he's like, if you're not going to tell me, I'm going to make you tell me. Yeah, because I took this one the third time and it says, "Stop asking me to talk about it. I'll tell it my way." So again, I think he's just kind of like forcing him to say it. And then you hear like some sort of sound from Ibiki, like behind the camera. And then the guy like screams a blood curdling scream. End scene.
That sounds cool.
Dang.
Makes no sense. Like, it's like, well, I mean, it does make sense. And really, even without subtitles, you can kind of like gather what's happening, but never talked about again. There's not another credit scene in this entire batch. Just
and what episode was that on?
83.
Wow.
And you don't see who he's talking to, or you do?
No,
see
you do. So you see Ibiki, and then you also see the guy from the collections office, like sitting there under like a single light in like in like a interrogation room, basically. And Ibiki, like his whole thing is interrogation. So he's like the guy that they take people to
Right.
be interrogated. So I'm assuming he's got some sort of jutsu for it.
Oh, okay. Thus the high pitched sound or whatever. Or maybe
Yeah.
he's using insects like Shino because he's a beekeeper. A beekeeper.
Oh no. Whatever.
Wow.
Dude, the other crazy thing that happened, I promise this is the last thing, but with Kakazu and the masks, it was crazy when that one green mask was like, somebody stop me.
I'm glad no one laughed.
I'm laughing that no one laughed.
Yeah, I love that. Great job.
So, do you guys want to do another pack? Thank you, Connor, again for all the packs. Too many of them. I've got a warehouse over here now. All right. Well, next batch again is 113 through 120. I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, boys.